think we have a problem.
What can I say except hello there?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Krothos, welcome to our podcast. I don't think we have talked previously with you. So can you introduce yourself slightly?
Sure. I go by Krothos. I'm actually located in California, United States, Southern California, just outside of Los Angeles. And I have been playing 2.0 for coming up on 2 years now. I was introduced to the game um, right about maybe right before AMG took over, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
absolutely loving it since.
Oh,
Well, how did like your friend or I don't know who introduced you to X-Wing? Was it like 2.0 or 2.5, the beginning of it? So have you chance to play 2.5 at the start?
I was introduced at 2.0, and it was from a friend of mine, and he is an avid player since 1.0. Um, and he's got many, many, many hours, many tournaments involved. So he introduced me to the game um, at the local game store that we play here. And, I did play some 2.5. Not a really big fan of it. Some of the changes they made to it, I don't really agree with it. And I think it kind of lost a lot of the X-wing feel that I was used to.
Yeah, I
no.
get
So
it.
our so my group decided to stay with 2.0. So
Yeah, cool. Well, I can give you my background in that context.
hmm
Um, I was running a Russian community, and I'm still running kinda, uh, even if little little who plays remains. And I was introduced to 2.5 as everyone else, and as a tournament organizer, I had a choice what to do with our community, and I wasn't deciding it like solely, um, but I started to run tournaments both in 2.0 and 2.5, and not mentioning the war in Russia, the number of players began to shrink, and um, overall, people stopped playing, even 2.0, and not very interested in 2.5. So um, I, I I took a, how can I call it, pause for a while. I moved to another country, and here we are at a legacy project. Now I'm playing one game per week at least in the practice league. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, at least you're get to play a bit more now.
Yeah. Actually, I've met a colleague here in Georgia. He also moved from Russia, and I introduced X-Wing to him, and he loved it. And he even asks me to play again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
despite of that, I destroyed him 2 times in a row, but I was just showing the game, all the possibilities.
hey, that's good. If he after that still wants to play again, that shows that he really likes the game.
Yeah.
um,
So yeah,
yeah,
well,
I can.
welcome to our 11th episode.
Yeah,
And for two viewers that joined us, as you can see, we'll be talking about the future of X-Wing, the future of Legacy in that context, and
yeah,
we'll talk about community building as well.
yeah. Um, okay. So, yeah, let's start with yeah, the community. So you told me you have a very lively community down there. Or where you come from, perhaps for the listeners that joined.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand.
Where just wanted to say where do you, just for the listeners, where do you come from? And you told me you have a lively community.
Yeah, we play at a game store. All of us play at tabletop, and it's in a small town called Camarillo in Southern California, in the United
Uh,
States. And our community, we have regularly 4 to 6 players that show up. And the store's been really good for us to do a lot of advertising for us on their social media. So we get walk-ins every once in a while. Unfortunately, they come in, they experience the game, they're like, "Oh, hey, this is cool," and then we never see them again.
no.
Sad. But we do have a core of like 4 to 6 players, and they do show up. We get to play twice a week, so that's
Oh,
always nice. You know, so yeah.
yeah.
So, do you have any like experience of introducing new players to the game?
I do have quite a bit of experience. Generally, I work with the guy that actually introduced me. He and I will kind of tag team and go back and forth depending on who's available. Who's like if I'm in the middle of a game and we have some new players show up, he'll take the new players and we'll set them up with like a 125 point list for obstacles and show them how to play. If he's in the middle of the game, I'll do the same thing, or if he can't make it, So
What interests me is there is a choice to like even the players choose to play like 2.5 and 2.0, and
hmm
I can I can say that most of the players tend to get introduced to the game with the 2.5, like the official rule set. And do you have any tips on how to explain players why there is two rule sets active, and how do you not convince them to play Legacy? I know it's it's bad to say that, but to show them the differences between rule sets.
it's interesting because a lot of the new players don't understand or don't know that there's really two rule sets out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of times they're coming in, they're seeing the ships on the ship packaging on the shelves, they're seeing us play, so they come from a completely new, you know, perspective. So we introduce them to the 2.0 rules. Eventually, we do tell them that there's 2.5 and, kind of the differences between the two, like the list building and the style of play and the scenarios and so forth. Um, but generally, we really don't get into that too often. It's more that we have players that come in, hey, we want to play X-Wing, and we show them how to play X-Wing, which happens to be 2.0.
Oh, I see. So the main thing is keeping the game alive, like keeping the attendance alive, and display that there is a game, we're playing it,
Yeah.
and people don't really care what role set you are using, and unless there is someone to play with.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time it's just, hey, I want to push little plastic models around, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my experience too. I have introduced 3 new players, and it's always like they want to play X-Wing. I show them 2.0, and like the question afterwards I get was only, okay, not I want to play the official version. The only concern was, can I play? How much of the new stuff is compatible in 2.0? So can I buy everything, or can I buy? I think the last one was like um was can I buy like at least a bit over half the stuff that's officially released? Um, is it compatible? Can I play it? That's the only concern I heard. Yeah, actually, one person I specifically asked, if you want to know the difference, just ask. He said, "No, I'm not interested. It's what you play, and the game, the demo game was fun, and I only care if that the only thing I care about is that new stuff is coming halfway, um, in a reasonable time frame for me to explore."
Yeah, so we can summarize it as an ultimate advice for someone who lost their community and um, maybe wants to build a new one or just reignite the old fire, the old campfire. So just go out and play.
Yeah.
As you can see, and Deb mentioned it numerous times in the previous episodes. Just go out and play, and people will join you.
Agreed, because you don't know who's out there's looking, really. You know, we, there's been a few times where I've sat by myself in the game store ready to play X-Wing, and nobody had shown up just because my regular guys were all busy that particular day, and nobody knew. But other times we would be, have six players or six regulars playing, and all of a sudden we'd have two new people show up to play X-Wing, and they just saw it on the game store's website, saying, "Oh, that sounds like a game I want to try." So,
Yeah, that's I wish more people use that advice, and we'll see more
Yeah.
legacy games on List Fortress.
Yeah, it's like Cruise Crossers. It's not. It's like don't the like new players don't really care about the rule set. If the demo game is fun, that's all they need. And
I have a question, Krothos. Like we as an XTPO project, XTPO team, we are more of an enablers for the community, not that just we run it. And is there any feedback from local play group as yours if we can improve something regarding like providing materials, rules, and media like introduction videos or something like that?
um, I think overall, the team has done an excellent job keeping 2.0 alive, especially with the constant point upgrade updates, the changes and such. There's been discussion. I wouldn't say disagreement as far as a couple of the changes that were made, such as removing Boba Fett's crew slot. You
Again.
know, again. But it's quite apparent that your changes are thoughtful and make sense, and they're for balance reasons, obviously, as well. And we really haven't had much of a problem. And the biggest thing is that the fact is that uh, you're there to support the new material that's coming out. We have two new big upgrades that are coming out. You guys are going to be putting out points next month for that, or next week, or
Hmm.
2 weeks from now. And that's absolutely going to be huge, because otherwise we'd be kind of stuck on a lurch as far as which dash are we going to run, which, it's going to be it's going to be interesting. We'd be kind of stuck where you know, playing the old stuff and not really being able to use the new stuff and refresh the fun that we're having, you know. So, the material you guys are producing right now, I think is really good. If I were to offer a recommendation, um, I know there's been some confusion in the past between on the erratas. I know I have anyways, between 2.5 erratas and 2.0 erratas. Let's say the biggest one being the the Delta 7B
Hmm.
configurations. If maybe your team can come up with your own versions of saying, okay, these are our accepted erratas for the, you know, for 2.0 legacy. I think there was one, an upgrade, a pilot Ursa. I think it was, where there was a clarification on the
Ursaran,
targeting.
yeah.
Yeah, Ursaran, yeah. Something like that. So that way we have kind of more better guidelines. So we have a better delineation, differentiation between, what's supported
Mm-hmm.
with erratas between 2.0 legacy and 2.5.
Yeah, that's a good point. No,
Yeah, thank you.
I made a document with the recent legacy erratas, and I think we can take the old FFG errata document and just update it with cards, like the new images which are present
That'd be,
in legacy.
yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, that would definitely be, just a text version, something,
Hmm.
just a straight up errata, PDF errata would be great. But, if you want to go through the cards and actually produce new, new card versions that we could print out, that's over the top. That's even better.
If I remember it right, the Ursaran errata is in the rules document, maybe.
I think so. It's been a
Yeah.
while since I looked at them.
And so AMG did that change a while ago, and
Hmm.
we just followed up on it just later.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback.
Yeah,
It's priceless, I would
yeah,
say,
really,
because
yeah,
we are not really getting much like concentrated, focused feedback. Just
Hmm.
we can read someone's chatting on Discord with the other members, but no really focused feedback.
yeah. That's why it's really great that you joined also.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Well, maybe
So
we can move on to the uh, AMG interview from
yeah,
312 Squadron. Is it 312
so
Squadron?
312 Squadron.
Yeah. Or how do native speakers pronounce this name? Like
I believe it's just 312.
312. Yeah.
312. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched or listened to this episode?
Briefly. I have a tendency to zone out on super long interviews and stuff like that, but I've kind of looked at it piecemeal here and there just to
Mhm.
kind of get the gist of it.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they talked about a bunch of things. There was a introduction about their development process. They spoke about worlds, about scenario packs and standard loadouts, about store
yeah,
championships, about support of extended, about reprints, standard scenarios, about errata and minis. So they covered a lot of topics.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So essentially, like I think they covered so much that the next like years, I think, are relatively clear.
Hmm.
Yeah. What we can start is with the new releases. They stated that the average production cycle for an expansion pack is 24 months, and pre-painted mini for X-Wing adds to it, so it becomes more than 2 years. And also they have to consider and discuss everything with LFL also. So it also adds to that cycle. And uh, how long has it been? Like 2021,
Yeah.
and it's 2 years already past, like 3 years, almost 3 years.
Mm,
Yeah.
for 2.5, I don't think it was February or March
No,
20.
no, I mean since the handling over
Ah, okay.
of the
Yeah, yeah.
game.
That that's almost 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we talk about the development cycle and what we can expect from AMG, I think right now they are talking mostly about reprints and Well, maybe later this year there will be some like Alpha clustering, but it didn't sound like they have much content in the works right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a new ship. I think completely new ship.
Well, I would think, from my understanding, if we were to get another ship, I mean, I'm totally in agreement with you. From what I understand, we may not see any new ships, but they did mention a while back, though it wasn't mentioned in this latest stream, that we should be getting the Alpha class Starfighter
Yeah.
as a reprint. So I would imagine that's coming soon, maybe after maybe after early 2024, I would guess, based upon their current release cycle.
Yeah, I
And
But
hope so.
and was honestly having tested or having played against the new for the points test, the new dash, it's basically close to getting a new ship.
Yeah, for
Because he
sure.
just plays so much different than the old one.
Yeah, it has different limitations and it's weaker at the baseline.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I've always flown against the old Dash, and I've never flown Dash myself, but I will tell you, I am, on the defending end, I am very happy with this new Dash.
yeah, the old dash is quite strong. Yeah, I have to say I am have a I like to play against the old dash too as a different puzzle. But I perhaps I'm a bit odd that I generally tend to like to play against two ship lists.
Mm.
Yeah,
um,
and speaking of reprints, like MG told us that they are not considering every ship for reprint, and they think about its profit, like its business perspective, from business perspective, and from development perspective, what's easier to produce, I think.
yeah,
And also LFL kicks in. Like this ship is Legends for now. We don't have any plans, or it's not ready yet to enter the new canon. So they hope to get on Eving eventually, if it's officially confirmed on Ahsoka series.
I mean
Okay.
it's officially confirmed now, but yeah, probably not in the next
Yeah, but
probably 2025.
yes, I mean that
I've had all.
if they get onto it, it's like 2.5 years from now,
Yeah,
at least. Yeah, and that's funny, of course, for a reprint. And they said that design space is limited in the X-wing, uh, and they were speaking in the context of reprints. So they also said that um, squad
I
building is a core of a game, and nobody will take it out, take it
yeah,
take it away. So it will stay. But on the other hand, like almost simultaneously, they talk about standard loadout cards, about
yeah,
how it's easy to set up a game, how it's easy to play, how it's fun, and how it's easy to create them without thinking about the overall game balance. So they say
the
that we like to develop cool new abilities, and the cells is their way to go.
I towards the last point. I understand. I don't know. Krothos, did you see the part where they talk about it?
A little bit, yeah.
What was your impression?
I think the conversation was contradictive. You know, sure, the standard loadouts make it easy for people to just plop down a few cards, not have to worry about loadouts or anything, or ship buildings, and they can just jump in and play. But people, I imagine players would, if they're just starting off or something like that, they would think that that's the way to play. and not really look into the, you know, custom configurations of how you can actually load out your ships, whether that be in 2.0 or 2.5.
Yeah, I agree for especially like the what I read, for example, the 2.5 starter guide, um, which I hope we will have some this month, one for 2.0 too, as a starter buying guide. And there was a really, really heavy recommendation on like the third thing or fourth thing you buy or third thing you buy somewhere around that is Battle of Yavin. And like if a new player, it's after the starter kit, it's the third thing they get. They have the impression that standard loadouts are the way to go. I agree. It's a bit like especially and that's another point that they said the the new starter battle packs are only to be played with standard loadout. That's the way they are designed in 2.5.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how
it's
popular they are overall.
I think they, from what I've seen on Reddit, they are actually somewhat popular.
Hmm,
But
strange.
I would think, just from a sales perspective, I think it was a smart move. You know, the loadout, standard loadout cards aside, I think it was a smart move to actually do or faction specific starter packs,
oh, that was smart. Yeah.
because there have been numerous times before those got released where somebody would say, "Hey, what am I looking at to get into?" And we'd ask them what faction they play, and if it wasn't Rebellion or Empire, it was like, okay, well, you're going to need to get the starter kit, but you're now getting three ships that are absolutely useless to you that you're not going to be interested in. And now you want to probably get the squadron pack to get at least the starter ships for your faction you do want to play. So it just seems extra. So in a way, I hope AMG does continue that pattern and release the starter packs for the other factions. I think it'll help the growth of the game, whether the players are playing 2.5 or 2.0 Legacy.
Yeah. Just on the side note on that, did the introduction video we did help?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great.
Or
Ah,
not we
cool.
did thing, another one that sorry for the name, but look it
No,
up.
I mean, I did watch your introductory video that you actually have
Yeah.
on the X2PO website, and I think it was a great video on how to, teaching people how to play, you know. So,
Yeah. Uh,
Ah, that's nice.
yeah, Adam did a great job.
Yeah. No, it's not for me. Uh, I just wanted to. It was from another player. I want to say. I want to, if in case he listens to it. It was one. It it was his work. Will have a short shout out.
Yeah,
well,
I know
Adam,
him only by his real name, but I think he prefers to be mentioned with his nickname.
Yeah, let's use his nickname. Um. Uh.
Well, while
Let me
you
look.
are searching,
It's Imaginary Ranger 149.
yeah,
Thank you for doing it. Was really good.
thank you, Ranger.
Yeah.
And speaking of starters, I really, mm, I really hope that they will include some. Oh, I hope that they include at least some generics into starter core sets, starter sets for factions,
Yeah.
but it's less likely that they will do it since the first
Yeah.
two have no
The
generics.
bomber has it. But honestly, that's a design decision. Like like it's good they include it, but for 2.5 players, it feels a bit bad because if you are new, have no idea what is good, and what isn't, and you think,
Droid
okay, I want to start with the easy stuff, and then you are in the disadvantage just because you took the generics.
Yeah, but even if we discuss it in the context of 2.5, they said that it was hard to teach their kids to play because you have all the cards on the table and you have to go through all of them and explain what they do. And that's why cells were designed, but they changed this building in that way that have to have have to have that many cards on the table. And if you play generics, you have less loadout value and you have less cards on the table. So they can be good for teaching the game.
Yeah. Yeah. They are good. It's just the design choice to make them not balanced feels a bit
So you want to
off.
play X-Wing.
Like
You grabbed your mat, your
like if a
templates.
new player
you're out.
uses that and goes to a tournament and then says, okay, yeah, you next time just don't play these. Like if you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
Krothos, you did. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And is there just because before we leave standard loadouts, that's another impression I got, or my impression was that they in a way it's contradictory, in a way it's not. I think their thinking is more like, hey, this custom is there, so it's true that list building or that custom, because it's there, the custom loadout is still important, but I think they it's more like, okay, it's there, but our that the thing that we want to really like is the standard loadout. And perhaps for them it's not contradictory because, well, it's there, we aren't getting rid of it. Yeah, it just doesn't have the same importance. From what I'm getting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, they mentioned also another interesting topic is scenarios, standard scenarios, and also the support of extended. So these two things are like competing with Legacy because Legacy fully supports extended and you can play everything you want. So even if MG continues with reprints, it's obvious that not everything will be reprinted and not everything will be allowed to played in like official tournaments at least. Because they think that if someone has an access to older ships not released in 2.0, they have an advantage. And of course, if a regular player doesn't play regularly against extended ships, they have no experience against it. And that indeed can be um, the cause of their loss in the tournament. I can get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciate that Legacy exists and you can play everything you want, even Epic.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is really interesting because like a bit talking point was on some in the 2.5 community. Everything is 2.5 is official, and then they have the homebrew points in the Epic builder. I mean, I understand it because 2.5
They just
doesn't support Epic, but
they just wanted to play like
yeah,
with whatever points they have.
yeah.
Well, and for the scenarios they mentioned, um, I guess
Before,
plumber.
sorry, before we move
Uh
on, just
huh.
I'm curious with your players, Krothos, or perhaps with new players. Perhaps when you mentioned after a game, I don't know when, if you mentioned to the difference, how attractive is that that you can play everything for in comparison to 2.5, 2.0.
I think it's very important because um, players don't want to have ships that they can't play. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
just getting a ship and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, I can't play that ship. Where we can say, hey, look, with 2.0, you know, it's been out there. Doesn't matter what version you want, you know, you can play it. Um, Overall, I think I don't agree with the decision. A lot of decisions AMG makes, so I'm kind of,
Well,
but
yeah.
Hmm.
I guess we can make a display in our stores, well, in like not ours, but pathetical. Like this, all the ships you can play in Legacy and just have them on the shelf.
Yeah, probably that's an I don't that could be an idea.
hmm
Next to just perhaps put one X-wing there and one TIE fighter, and then all the old stuff. And if
right,
people ask, "Oh, well, what is this?" Okay, you can play it in the version, and like that, I think the best thing is here's X-wing. Don't go into what version it is in the first game, but they might play with this chip, and then they are more interested in 2.0 because they directly have an example of a ship that's not accessible in 2.5.
correct.
It's not that 2.5 doesn't have it. Extended
Yeah,
still exists, yeah, but
yeah, yeah,
For as
the
long as they're willing to
tendency,
support it.
yeah, no
yeah.
official
It's
events in extended.
yeah. That's the thing. It's extended exists, but it's clear it's not really balanced and it's not official or not official events. So
Yeah, I was really surprised to see when they increased the price for all the Star Wings just out of an instant.
Mm.
perhaps make the old version less playable and so people play the new version.
No, it's not on the horizon yet.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, actually, would make more sense to decrease it so people are hyped for the expansion. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, and
Um,
I want to talk about scenarios. So right now there are four scenarios in 2.5 standard scenarios, and
and
they aim to have at least six, I guess, playable
yeah,
scenarios. So there are more to come in the future. And what Plummer explained, talking about his development thought process, is that there are limited types of scenarios that can be used in X-Wing. Like he talked about uh, taking stuff, moving stuff, like being near stuff, and something else. So it seems like he's not thinking out of the box. With that
uh,
comes the question,
wanted
Krothos,
to. So sorry.
yeah, have you have you looked at Wild Space or even tried?
I have looked at Wild Space, and I do like the format that you guys has put down. I think you guys did a really good job of expanding on the existing Epic uh, scenarios or cards that they had.
The
Um,
environment cards from
environment cards.
fully
Yes, thank
loaded
you.
parks and yeah.
Yeah,
hmm I think those you did a really great job on that. My group hasn't had an opportunity yet to actually try Wild Space yet. Um, but it is something that we are probably going to start testing and playing with here in the near future.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I'll definitely give you guys some feedback once we have a chance
Oh,
to play some out.
yeah. Any
Looking
feedback
forward
is
to it.
welcome. Yeah. Positive, negative, anything.
Yeah.
If like even if you say, okay, after the first game, this card is horrible. the more the more we get told where to improve, the more we can know where to improve.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
like that. Maybe not every, like, yeah, every scenario that you take are complementary to the dogfight. So you
Hmm.
can't win solely on these scenarios.
Oh, yeah. That was a main thing. I think we outlined in basically first article months ago. If just a plug if anybody reads it and want to see the design decisions or the thought process behind every card. We did like 3 article. We have 3 articles on our website where we basically go over what's the design idea behind every card, um, strengths, weaknesses, that kind of stuff. But yeah, in the first article we outlined that was one of our goals. The objectives aren't there to win. You like in a close game they can make the difference. Like if
Hmm.
you are like 60 points apart or 50 points and you get to objectives the other one doesn't, or it can make the difference close games, but they are not there to win. And I want to go on that statement from Plummer because I found it strange because yeah, like you said, it's the first thing I thought when I go into objective, like why can't they shoot or debuff opponents? Like it seems so limited in what you can do. You can do everything with them in X-Wing or so much.
Yeah, when I played 2.5, the couple of games I did, that was the lack of player agency that mattered. You know, sure, I can try and shoot my opponents, but if my opponents are sitting there just gathering up the objective points, it's like, okay, well, unless I absolutely destroy them, then it doesn't really make
Hmm.
much of a difference.
Yeah,
So,
just remember the one guy who won one of the big tournaments previously in 2.5. He took Count Dooku on a scimitar, which can cloak. He took Dirge with the title Sandblood, who, who can cloak and can revive after being destroyed, and 3 hyenas with the proximity mines, and he basically just suffered all the hits and captured all the scenario points.
hmm.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
really fun.
I think from what Plummer said, they have really they come from it seems like MCP and have this tunnel vision a bit. Because like you said, they only think in terms of they are only there to give points. Which they are in MCP as far as I know, I think. And yeah, and I think that explains for me a bit a tunnel vision. Like yeah, they can be so much more. And yeah, for example, they can be protective. That's another angle. Um, instead of just purely getting points. Yeah,
Yeah, like I loved the one scenario with the space station in the wild space. So for example, if you take chance engagement uh, scenario from 2.5, just an objective in the middle,
yeah,
and you just have to be there to gain points. Why are you gaining points? Who knows? But if it was an space station, you can have some curious interactions with it to actually matter. Uh, why are you here? Why are you in the
yeah,
center?
Hmm.
yeah. And I found it also strange. Like 4 to 6 scenarios, like that seems low.
I mean,
Or
it's competitive. They are aiming at competitive, and most of the time you need to have something really well balanced, almost mirror-like. So
yeah,
yeah, I guess that's the limitation they're um, putting themselves in.
yeah, but I actually don't really agree with that too. I mean, of course, uh, white space with the combinations is probably more work, but um, yeah, I still think it can be a good competitive. You can have more. It's just how that you make them balance and yeah, not yeah, probably the restriction is also that they want them to be able to win the game by points. So
And I'm not defending wild space. It has a lot of room for improvements, and
yeah,
our team is little, and we can have so much testing, and
yeah,
Mhm.
we're looking for community to actually play test it, of course,
Mhm.
and scenarios will be changed. I I
oh,
I know
definitely,
that for certain. Yeah.
Well, from a personal perspective, I'll say the one thing I've always found about the scenarios, good or bad, is with 2.5 is their limiting factor. There's just a certain number of, was it 4 scenarios, and that's it, one of 4 scenarios that can be played. And, you know, with Wild Space, you do have a bit more variety and stuff. But I hope the team can continue to expand on Wild Space and actually provide more options. Because that's one of the nice things that I do love about X-Wing is you there's so many different potential lists out there, mediocre and great lists that you could play against. And, there's just so much variety within the game.
Yeah, every time is different.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
if the
yeah,
list is the same and the opponent too.
This is true.
hmm, yeah. Yeah, probably. I think it fits the scenarios fits with the idea of standard loadouts, and fit with the idea of standard a bit. I think. Yeah, I think that's probably the different right there the different attitude towards the game from 2.0 and 2.5.
Hmm.
Like we want to have as much variety as possible. Not saying 2.5 don't want to have any variety, but they are more focused on fewer scenarios and like a certain class of like iconic ships and such things.
Hmm.
I have another topic on to discuss. It's competitive scene. It's organized play, and from what AMG said, they care a lot about world's attendance. Yeah, world's attendance, and they mentioned they are including world's invites to in store championship kits, and it also includes not just an invite but the ticket, if I remember it right. So they are allowing everybody to fly there and be there. Uh, this is what Legacy is lacking right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
that's the biggest
competitive
thing.
scene. Yeah. Krothos, do you run tournaments in your local playgroup?
Actually, we do not, unfortunately. We've talked about it. We'd like to try and get a little bit more, attendance before we
Hmm.
try to before we run tournaments. So, so maybe, I mean, it's something that's a goal that we're moving toward, we'd like to move towards, but it's just not in the cards for us right now with our community.
Hmm. Maybe you could start with something like League, like it's still competitive, but it's like it can be um, not a one-day event, but a reoccurring thing.
Hmm.
Like for example, what we with the Ricantilis made in the Russian community, we created a national-wide league where you can play with whoever you want, uh, uh, at maximum of 10 games per person. Like you can play together only maximum 10 games or something like that. And you get to register your games. You have a rating like an ELO in chess, something that encourages players to play more and
Mm-hmm.
think more about how they play and what they play.
Hmm. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
I'll have
just
to definitely give it. I'm sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
And I was just wanted to add that you need to spice things up step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what do you think we can do to encourage play groups around the world to become more present? I would say not competitive, but more present. Deb, maybe you have a thought.
Uh, yeah, I mean, from I think one of the yeah, I think the most important thing is for like Koso said, I think right now we have many groups where the top priority is just ex- just yeah building the pool of players, doing or looking forward to is to going to alternative locations, like not just focused on the store, because my store has a very large 40K community, and yes, there were players interested, and we got one new player through the store, and I will be on this in the store. But I'm also looking, for example, for to go to have a like learn to play event at the local university, trying to get a room there, and I think that could be also something. Learn to play, perhaps just have um like yeah, like a flyer or something, or something to spread the news outside the store that X-Wing is played. Perhaps if possible, alternative locations like the university, if possible, things like that. And I think the main important thing is to be present, to just be there and go into the wider community. Perhaps even if the like my regional community is 2.5. I think I don't know of any other 2.0 community in my state, but I still will post things in the regional, like I am, it's to remain visible, and it worked in one case. One new player in 2.5, or in the regional group, even though there is mostly 2.5, for example. That's also important, I think. Just some general things.
So, from a legacy perspective, overall, it's more important to build up a player base right now rather than doing tournaments or something like that, and doing them all if there is a demand.
Yeah, I Yeah, basically like that. It's not like tournament are more important, but I'm been very active behind the scenes trying to figure out how the community is, the state of the community is. I think for many communities right now, the point is we are need to build. I always compare it a bit to 1.0. Like our game or 2.5 for me is so different that it could be another game. Even though we use many of the same materials. And I always compare to when 2.0, 1.0 started, there wasn't a OP scene immediately, but the game was good. People could get into the game. Um, yeah, we know the game is good. So we are, I think, right now in the phase where we just need to build up. We have all the the team feels good. We know the direction where we are heading. And yeah, with white space and standard and how things are included.
I will
Uh,
say I do like the idea about the maybe uh, meeting up with the local college because there is a local college, junior college near the game store I play at. Um, and there are other game stores in the area. I don't think they have any X-Wing community, so I can discuss with those owners to see if, we can put some feelers out there for any of their players that might be interested, you know.
oh yeah, I
So
think that's
definitely
a
some
good
good
idea.
suggestions. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I think we'll create a flyer template for
Yeah,
living in stores, like that you can download from our website and print.
yeah, I think that would be helpful. Courses would something be important? Like for you, what do you think? Like a flyer where you have like promotional material you just can put out. You don't have to design yourself, and you can just go to another store or like a college, and leave it there, and people see, okay, what X-Wing is. You can fill out where your game nights are and things like that.
I think that'd be extremely helpful. It'll definitely make it a lot easier on me, and for the most part, it'll make it very official, you know. So and make it give the appearance of, the professional appearance that we're just not some fly by night, operation.
Yeah, cover ups. Okay, yeah, we'll get on to it in the nearest future.
Yeah, I think that's it's a high priority. Um, okay. Um, yeah. So we can continue on with the topics. Um,
Honestly, we discussed most of the important parts of the AMG interview, and we can, I guess, maybe only summarize.
I have one topic more.
Okay.
Um, what was right now the packs? Uh, first I thought the TIE Bomber packs will only have standard loadouts. Um,
They have
but
generics.
yeah, they have in the new just one. I think today come out the new TIE Bomber pilots will also have custom, but I'm not 100% sure. Did
Well, the TIE Bomber expansion consists
yeah.
of old pilots, standard old pilots, and standard holdouts for new pilots.
Okay, then okay, that's what I wanted to confirm. Yeah, I think that is also something for when we talk about new players or community building. I think that's an important point to could be highlighted. Um, just because that's another if they go that route and in the YT 20 funded, it's the same case. Uh, just that well you just say, okay, you can just explain in the 2.5 version, you can't play these new pilots with custom loadout. Or on that one, because did your community did you what was the response from the concept that we have right now with splitting up the standard loadout and pilot and full standard loadout side?
I think it hasn't happened in a while because we all use the standard load or the customized loadout, the old style of playing 2.0 with our cards
Left
and
side
everything else. So we
legal.
really,
Yeah,
yeah, left side legal. And actually, nobody in my community plays with those standard loadout cards, even using left side legal. We're still using the traditional FFG, cards.
Hmm.
Um, I think what is really good is that even though nobody has played them, what was done with Wild Space, where you made it where it was a choice. You can either play left side legal or you can play the full standard loadout as is, and you gave points for both. I think that was a good move to give players more agency, more choice. You know, as far as AMG goes, in my personal view of this, I think what they're going to do is if there's an existing 2.0 ship and it's a reprint per se, like the bombers, they will pretty much reprint what's been printed. The bombers came out with the originally 1.0, but they also came out with the 2.0 packs. But then again, as I'm talking about it, they did. I don't think they released any standard, generic pilots for the YT 2400, right?
yeah,
No
So,
generics.
and they had generics in the Rebel packs. So, but they also released the Scum version of the YT 2400 too,
Hmm.
which I
Yeah.
think is new.
yeah, yeah.
So I haven't. Yeah.
Well,
So I just blew that theory out of the water. Sorry.
no, I think that Dash, like YT to 2400, is slightly different from bombers because I've never seen an 2400 generic on the table.
Agreed.
Yeah, maybe they saw it as an like redundant piece, and I
Yeah,
can partially agree with it.
Hmm.
It meets their vision, and it doesn't hurt the ship.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I've never seen Lido played in the YT 2400 either. So
Oh, I've seen.
Yeah, and I think I find it when we come back to the original statement, that's also a bit contradictory. If custom is so important to you, why you like it fits with their vision, but I think it's just another thing to show how to show or to highlight is that in FFG times the scum would be just custom. Um, Probably if FFG had the same concept, it would have been custom. Um, that's I think that's also something going forward. If there are weapons and they have them in both factions, the like lesser or like the lesser faction in this camp scum will be standard loadouts.
Yeah. And also, they were asked about uh, standard loadout only game mode or something like that, and
Yeah,
they said that no, but it's not a hard no, just
yeah.
no for the time, I
Yeah, they
guess.
said no for the time, but the
Yeah,
caveat that if we have to do it, we will do it. Was is basically yes if we want.
yeah. And if you look at the recent world qualifiers, there are a lot of almost SL only lists in the top.
Oh yeah. Krothos, did you have a chance at to look at the world qualifier, the results?
Not really. I mean, I think I've glanced at them once or twice, but I didn't
Yeah,
really. I mean, I usually don't really take too much stock in the 2.0 or 2.5, tournaments and such because they don't really apply to my community too much.
yeah,
So, I mean, if we start moving to 2.5 because, that's where my community decides they want to go, I have no idea why they would, but,
yeah.
then of course, then I would,
No,
then of
no.
course yeah,
Sorry. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Um, yeah. Honestly, I'm doing mostly just to see what's happening in 2.5 regarding uh a bit. Yeah, just out of curiosity, but not too much. Um, just okay. But I've took a glance at it. Um, and like you, and yeah, it was really interesting. Like such as that, I think the first four were Republic, and like four standard loadouts or three were the same across the board, and it had one custom.
Mm.
It's the meta for 2.5 right now is three Arc 170. It's three standard holdout pilots. They they cost only 4 points out of 20. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That that is a lot of health.
Yeah, and a lot of
Yeah.
firepower.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Okay. Oh, and another thing I want to point up. I think there is a decent possibility that they are not releasing any custom upgrades. Wow. What do you think? Because especially from the interviews you have seen, how likely is it that they will release custom upgrades? The new packs didn't have any. Okay, the
Um,
Outrider title, but
I have zero confidence in that. They've been doing custom, upgrades on their standard loadout cards, for a while now. So I don't think if that's, I mean, if I understand your question correctly, I seriously don't think they're gonna do, unique cards or separate cards from the new upgrades that they've incorporated into the standard loadouts.
Yeah, because if we look at those upgrades embedded into standard loadouts, most of them grant like new weapons or um, uh, titles and other stuff that grants you just free actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see a tendency for it. So of course it's so cool to have free actions, and it feels really great to play such pilot. But they can't really release those kind of upgrades to the like overall balance.
yeah, yeah. Think the same. Um,
Well,
okay.
maybe if they release, well, when they reprint ships, I guess they will include some new cards like new Outrider title. They can
Yeah,
rework
it is some.
configurations for the Star Wing.
Yeah.
Maybe they will be new, something like that. Um,
Okay, I have asked sort of long time about asking this, and this is just personally me. Um, I don't want the listeners to misunderstand that there's any plans, but considering this courses, just out of curiosity, just for me personally, I um, hmm,
the
should
suspense.
should what do you think? Like if it continues and in one, because that's a question I've asking myself for a long time, or since it was clear that, or I suspected that there aren't any new upgrades. Um, should we should like if we have the capability or we think perhaps somewhere next year, just me personally, it's not should we go into like designing ourselves or adapting the things on the adapting the upgrades, make them fairer and adapt them as custom. It would move into HomePro territory, and there are no current plans inside the team. It's just me personally. But what do you think about this topic?
Yeah. I'm never. I think that kind of falls into the homebrew stuff that a couple of our community members or our Discord members have been working on, to develop, new ships, new pilots, new abilities. Um, I think it's, I think it'll be fun to make it official, but I think it's also kind of a slippery slope of actually really getting into your, making X-Wing Legacy its own game, you know.
Yeah,
To the
I
point
agree.
where you were completely away from AMG and now it's your own game. And I just think there's going to be a lot of a lot of complications there,
Yeah.
that unforeseen complications. I think it's interesting. I just don't know how well it'll play out.
Yeah, I know. It's just me personally. Like that, there are no current plans, and we probably need more people um, to really test this if we ever do this. But it fits from when we are speculating what's to come and what 2.5 and the interview means for Legacy. I think just wanted to hear your opinion on it
Yeah.
because yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think, I mean, I'm
it's
sorry,
a
go ahead.
question.
no, I
Go
mean
ahead.
that's a future of not X-wing, future of legacy in the long term.
Yeah,
Right. I think I've looked at some of the homebrew stuff that our other members have come up with, and I think some of them are very interesting. Um, and I'm sure that they've probably been tested fairly well for black balance issues and such. I just don't think it's for everybody. Um, I
yeah,
think if the team wanted to take that approach, maybe start with the upgrades that are not available as custom. Like, for example, in the Battle of Yavin standard loadouts, if you've got Hope,
Hmm.
as an upgrade, it's not, you can't apply that as an upgrade to any other ship.
or attack speed,
Huh?
or attack speed.
Or, yeah, exactly. So, I'd maybe start with those, just kind
Yeah,
of, baby steps, if you will.
yeah. Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. If in the far future we ever do it, I think. Oh,
Mm.
or like that's to anybody listening. If if you want this, or give us feedback. Just wanted to put that out there and hopefully sort out there and see how well we see it is. Yeah, but I agree. If we do it, we should start with making just standard loadouts, um, upgrades custom that are fitting.
Yeah, I think that this home brewing legacy should occur when AMG like surrender X-wing or moves it to an Armada state where
But
we
that could be a very long time.
yeah.
Mm,
So
and
for the time being,
possibly,
for the time
yeah,
being, I think that homebrew stuff is not will not be welcomed right now, and it's really hard to produce a balanced upgrade. So it's a lot of work, a lot of testing, a lot of like combined development. So it's not an easy task.
no. Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
I also looked at some homebrew stuff that guys have been posting, for a while now, and yes, some of them could be potentially a good upgrades or pilots, but uh, most of the time, homebrew tends to overpower things
Yeah,
or just
yeah.
break something.
That's why if he ever starts, it's probably the standard loadout upgrades make the fitting, give them points. Perhaps tweak it slightly would be the best.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Mm,
I guess we had a really fruitful conversation today.
yeah, was a really nice conversation.
Do, do you have anything in mind which we have not discussed?
No, I think this is great. I mean, granted, this is my first podcast I've ever been part of, so
You
this is
did
all a
great.
new experience. Well,
Yeah,
thank you. So,
I noticed that you were very cautious with timings and what and when to say, and it's great to have you here.
oh, thank you. I appreciate the invite, and it was a lot of fun. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, look out for the second invitation in the future.
yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Thank you for
yeah.
thank you for the feedback process. It's like we are getting so little. Everything is precious.
Hmm.
And I see that we have two viewers still um, watching and watching us for the whole time. If you want to say something, just hit it in the chat. Uh, Maybe you have some feedback or some thoughts that you want to share with us. I guess we can wait for a little bit, and
Yeah.
I can cut it in post if nothing happens.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can have some light talk, but because of just what is your favorite faction?
Republic.
Republic. Yeah, nice.
Mm.
I've been for the last few months. I've been hitting my head against the wall, trying to make a gauntlet list work. with Bo with Bo-Katan. I love her ability. So,
It's hard,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, interesting. I have my friend who plays Republic is hating the ability.
Yeah, well,
well,
I can share
So,
my list with the gauntlet, but for the Confederacy of Independent Systems, it's
but
okay,
Bo-Katan. She has a
yeah,
way better ability in the CIS, and four Nantexes alongside her. They're just
uh,
so great.
I think I've got one Nantix right now. So yeah, that list and I'm not a Separatist fan. Sorry.
uh. But I'm curious. What did you play with? Perhaps I can give my friend some advice. But
Well,
how do you play the Republic Bo-Katan?
well, I started off with two heavily loaded N1s. Found out that didn't work out very well, and then
Yeah.
um, what I then did was then eventually worked to two Y wings with plasma missiles or torps, and those actually were really good against other shielded ships. And then a pocket ace with oddball in the V wing.
Mm.
Ah,
So and then now I have settled on Bo-Katan with four generic torrents loaded with cluster missiles dedicated and sync console.
Oh, right. So Bo-Katan can give one target lock and they share it if they get lucky.
Exactly, exactly. And then with Bo-Katan, I have Commander Cody and Notorious. upgrades. So that's the fun part about it, is that I have her set up so she shoots you and misses, you get strained. You shoot her, you get strained. So
And
just
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
bad things shooting, coming from Bo-Katan. So
Oh,
what
nice.
what illicit upgrades did you take with her?
I took Contraband so I can get the Notorious upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
it.
I mean that if you want to take Notorious, you need to really pick that illicit upgrade that you will use. But
Mhm.
I find myself not really wanting to field any illicit upgrades on Gauntlet.
Mm. I like Contraband Cybernetics because I like the surprise that my opponents have when all of a sudden I hit a stop and then I can rotate and still do an action.
Yeah.
You know, that's always fun. So,
Yeah, that's true.
but usually I
Uh,
probably wouldn't have taken Contraband because Notorious requires you to have an illicit upgrade.
mm, yeah. Oh, well, about the turrets, have you considered taking Z95s? Because they, alongside versatile frame and synchronized console, they can take fire control system.
Ooh, that is not a bad idea. Here, let me throw it together real quick.
Yeah, so they can reroll one die and then pass their catalog.
Yeah, that's a bit more offensive. I mean, I do like the dedicated on the V19s though, on the torrents. So you can get the rerolls of the defense dice.
Mm-hmm.
Helps them a little bit. I do like the Z95s, and it looks like a couple points cheaper too.
I guess you can field dedicated also on Z95s.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to take let's see, would it be a Reaper Squadron? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Reaper
I could
Squadron.
take it. Yeah, take dedicated. And that's still 1 point cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And could I take synchronize? I can still take synchronize. Oh, that's exactly. Ooh, me likey.
You're welcome.
It's the same points and the same initiative. I'm only giving up one hull, really,
But you
but I
have
get the two
shields
shields, but I get the shields which help prevent against the crits.
and occasional boost.
And trust me, I was missing the last time I played this list. This last Wednesday, I was missing the boosts so many times. I'm like, I wish I could boost.
Yeah, definitely post a result of your new experience.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll fly the one just so you guys can see what it was, and then I'll fly the new with the Z95s.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how many of those
Oh,
do I have?
we have a chatter.
Yay.
Um,
Yay!
oh no, it's a bot.
Oh.
Oh.
It's a joke, a trick.
Want want.
Oh.
Wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
weil
Yeah.
because we were talking about Republic, my favorite ships are
Mm-hmm.
ETAs. I love ETAs.
Edas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edas are fun. They're cute little ships.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Both.
if we talk about favorite ships, I maybe Nantex for me.
Nantex.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are cool looking ships too. I like
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
yeah,
Favorite
played
ship.
them a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. My favorite ship overall has become lately the TIE Defender.
Tide Defender's beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
I adore TIE Defender with elite title and interloper turn.
Mm.
Ah.
Yeah, the way it can like do a tractor barrel, one heart to the left, and the barrel again as an action. and like rotating 90 degrees on one place.
Yeah,
Nice.
my favorite is the normal with juke and heavy laser cannon.
Mm.
Wader, of course.
No,
No.
it's surprising. I just take the Initiative 5, one of the Initiative 5 ones, so I get the reposition better.
Volt Scare is the best one.
Yep,
Yep. Yep. That's good. If I were to
and
pick my overall favorite, it would have to be the Arc 170.
ah,
That's just
Rebel
to me
or
is
Republic?
hmm?
Rebel or
Oh
Republic?
well the Republic looks awesome. The custom that weird paint job, you know, that it has. So, but just the
Oh.
overall ship itself, the shape of the ship, the way it looks, the guns off the end of the wings.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, Axe look 70.
I guess
Arc look great.
he is one of the old ships that was designed with the uh, B-17 in mind, I guess, like something like that, like
Yeah,
mhm.
World War II bombers or assault.
yeah,
Yep.
A bunch of
yeah.
a little team seen inside all their cannons, turrets, and wheels.
Yeah, I think it was designed after that, and I love it also because it's my favorite Star Wars battle scene is beginning of Episode 3 and Battle of Coruscant. Like the 2 minutes where they're just flying through this huge battle.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's pure magic.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's epic.
Yeah, and in contrast to like what I think make it really special is like even the big ships are exchanging port sides and all that stuff. It's not just like in Rogue One or in which you always have the focus on the little ships,
Mm-hmm.
but that the big ships are making an impact is rarely there. And in Battle of Coruscant, you see the Winators whipping apart the or exchanging port sides with the Invisible Hand and other smaller ships. It's great.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely visually appeasing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been great. Um, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you again for coming.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you
Thank you for
again for
coming.
the invite, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate all your work you do. It's it's your team that's basically allowed us to continue going in 2.0. So my gratitude to you both.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
We are happy. We are doing it for the players and for
Yeah.
us also, because we are players after all.
Yeah.
hmm Exactly. All right. Bid you both good night. It is
Yeah.
1:30 in the morning over here. So,
Oh, wow. Thank
Oh,
you for the
yeah.
commitment.
hey, it's
Good
all good.
night.
It's all good. All right. Good night, you both.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for listening, of course, and for
Yeah.
watching. I see you. Two people. I see you.
Yeah.
I will
Thank you.
find you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
yeah. I love that we discussed that. Um, like the future of X-Wing in these detailed topics
Yeah.
provided by AMG. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh, and thank you, 311 Squadron, for making an interview with AMG. It
Yeah.
was a great source.
Yeah. It's great to know. Because, yeah, Legacy 2.0 is not in a vacuum. We,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, we need to coexist with 2.5 and live together. And
yeah.
actually, I want for everyone to like, see us as partners, not as rivals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I, and, The recording is still on, no?
It's still on. Yeah, we're
Okay.
still live.
I will make an announcement. In 10 days, I have partnered up with a well-known 2.5 player, and we are doing a white space tournament together.
That's
Price
cool.
supported and
Is it
streamed.
online?
Yeah, online, price supported and streamed. I am doing part of the price support, and he's doing part of the price support. He has such a great idea. Some custom price support. I think that if we get it, it will be so great. Like unique. He had a unique idea that's really still usable for 2.5 players, but still something special about 2.0. And yeah, I don't think there's any price support like this.